you guys real quick. If you have a hat on or a hoodie on, take them off. And if you got your arms stuck in your shirt, when you come up, take your arms out. You're fine for now, so. If you have your turn, they'll show up. If they don't show up, they'll find one and they'll have them later on. All right? One will come in, one will sit there, we call another one up. All right, Bobby?
Oh, he's on the side.
Go straight down. Go? Yep. Those, will go at the bottom of what you got. Also, some of you have another court in the city of Kingston. All right.
Please be seated. All right, this is the 5 a.m. calendar for July the 4th, 2025. The court's orders regarding the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first column of the first day of the month remain in effect. Okay, we're going to proceed in the following manner. We're going to call two people at a time. The first person is going to come and stand up at the podium. The second person will sit in the chair by the door. The first person we're going to see this morning is Matthew Lawrence. He'll be followed by Ruben Avalos. Sir, please stand up at the podium and tell me your name and date of birth.
Matthew Lawrence, 1986.
Okay. So you're here in a Superior Court probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. Bond on this case has been set as a secured appearance bond of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. You're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date will be a probation revocation arraignment possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Avalos will be followed by Nathan Hutchison. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Ruben Maldonado Avalos, December 8th, that's 8/9.
All right, so you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secure appearance bond set in the amount of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court, and you are to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Hutchison will be followed by Jonathan Alvarez. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Nathan Journey Hutchison, July 7th, 1998.
So you're here on 3 cases, the first of which, number 6 on the calendar, is a new charge of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. The court has found probable causes for that count. The court has appointed the public defender to represent you on this case. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $3,600. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact a probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date on that case will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 34 on the calendar is a probation violation for Class 4 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On that case, there's a secured appearance bond set of $500. The release conditions are the same. Your next court date on this case is a probation revocation disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30. Number 35 is another probation violation. Once again, bond $500. The release conditions are the same as is a court date of July the 10th. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. Jonathan Alvarez will be followed by Luciano Alcantara. Sir, please state your name.
Jonathan Alvarez,
And your date of birth.
May 27, 89.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here on a probation violation warrant on the charge of Class 3 felony. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. Bond on your case was set by the judge at $5,000. That's a secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation hearing, possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Alcantara will be followed by Carbrell Haywood. Sir, please tell me your name
Luciano Alcantara,
and your date of birth.
12/27/2001.
All right, so you're here on two cases, the first of which is a out-of-county warrant from the Stafford Justice Court on the charges of DUI. The court has found you to be indigent, so the court will appoint counsel at your next court date. Bond was set when they issued the warrant in Stafford in the amount of $2,500. It's a secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing on July the 9th at 8:30 in the Stafford Justice Court. Number 10 on the calendar is a new charge of criminal damage, a Class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that count. In this case, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, it's a secured appearance bond of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to issue contact with the arresting officers nor with any victim or witness. You're not to possess drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. And once again, that you're continue to reside at an address by the court. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
No worries.
Mr. Haywood will be followed by Kawani Wells. Sir, please tell me your name
Carbrell Haywood,
and your date of birth, sir.
1677.
Thank you, sir. So you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, the judge set a bond, secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to issue contact with any arresting officers. You are not to possess any weapons. You are not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. Just 1 second, sir. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you contact a probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment hearing on July the 10th at 8:30. Did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I just didn't hear what the charge was. Probation violation?
Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Excuse me?
Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. You step back over there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wells will be followed by India Fisher. Please tell me your name
Keani Wells,
and your date of birth.
3792.
All right, you're here on a failure to appear on a charge of possession of narcotic drugs and drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felonies. The Superior Court warrant. The public defender has been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, Ms. Walls?
Am I getting out?
There's a $250 secured appearance bond. You'd have to post that bond in order to get out.
All right.
All
So
right,
order.
all right, thank you, ma'am. You can go back.
Thank you.
India Fisher will be followed by Christopher Torres. Ms. Fisher, please tell me your name and date of birth.
India Fisher, 6/26/1996.
Okay, ma'am, you're here on two cases. The first, number 13 on the calendar, is a charge of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post that bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 33 on the calendar is a probation violation for a Class 3 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On this case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $100. Other than that, the release conditions are exactly the same. Your next court date on this case is a probation revocation arraignment hearing on July the 10th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, Ms. Fisher?
When will I be released?
You have a combined bond of $600 between the two cases. If not, you can ask your attorney can ask the judge at the next court date to release you, but at this point you have two bonds, one at $500, one at $100.
Okay, so how long will I be in jail?
Until you post the bond or a judge releases you, but your next court date is a week from yesterday, July the 10th, on both your cases. All right? So you'll be in court in 6 days.
Was I supposed to, I thought I was released yesterday.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
All right, thank you, man. The officer will give you some paperwork. Mr. Christopher Torres will be followed by Abriel Rodriguez. Sir, your name, please.
Christopher Torres,
And your date of birth.
April 22nd, 92.
So you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant for a Class 2 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact the probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date on this case will be a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Rodriguez, we followed by Jamil Day.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
My name is Abimael Rodriguez, 11/21/2001.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So you're here on a Superior Court grand jury warrant. So the grand jury has indicted you on the charges of aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous felony, 2 counts of endangerment, Class 6 felonies, 1 count of extreme DUI.
Yeah.
The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. The grand jury set a bond in this case is a secured appearance bond of $50,000. If you post the bond, you'd be subject to pretrial services, alcohol testing, and monitoring. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to fingerprinting and DNA testing.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I had a question as well.
Sure, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I had a question. What was the warrant issued for that when they had told me like a court date to go and stuff? I don't get it. Why they just issued a warrant?
They can do one of two things in Maricopa County. They can either go through a direct complaint process where they just tell you to come in, or they go to a grand jury where a group of citizens sit and just hear cases all day, and they determine whether or not there's probable cause. If they determine there's probable cause, then they issue a warrant for your arrest. And that's what they did in this case.
So my bond was set at 50,000 for, you know, what was the reason for? When there's, I seen other
because
people have lower, like some like class 2 felonies, and they be
because this is a new
bond.
charge of aggravated assault, a class 3 dangerous felony. If you're convicted of this, it's a mandatory prison sentence of between 5 and 15 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get like they give me that with the aggravated assault just for me to, because I was driving. Honestly, that I don't find that like I don't find that like even makes sense.
Well, the grand jury disagrees with you, as do I, quite honestly. Given the nature of the offenses, aggravated assault is a natural charge.
So aggravated assault is the only charge that's $50,000.
It's all 4 charges combined. It's the aggravated.
What was the 4? I thought you only said 2.
No, there's 2 counts of endangerment, class 6 felonies, 1 count of aggravated assault, and 1 count of extreme DUI. So your next court date will be in a not guilty arraignment on July the 11th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court.
July 11th?
Yes, July 11th. 1 week from today.
All right.
All right, the officer will give you some paperwork, sir. Mr. Day will be followed by Alexander Stevenson. Sir, please tell me your name.
Juvenile Travis Day, March 4th, 1996.
Thank you, sir. So you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant for failing to appear on the charges of possessing narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The public defender has already been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set when the judge issued the warrant. The bond is $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription. No driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30, with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
So I'm not going home?
Not without posting a bond, sir. Not until your next court date anyway. Thank you. Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Stevenson will be followed by James McNeil.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name
Alexander Stevenson,
and your date of birth.
February 20th, 1992.
All right. So you're here on a Superior Court arrest warrant on the charges, the one charge of interfering with a monitoring device. It's a Class 4 felony. The court has appointed the public defender to represent you. On this case, you're going to be held without bond because this offense occurred while you're on release for another offense. Because you're being held non-bondable, however, you will have a court date 1 week from today. It's an evidentiary hearing where a judge will hear evidence of whether or not it should continue to be held without bond. If you are released at some point, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date is a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30. There's an evidentiary hearing concerning the bond issue on July 11th at 8:30, July 11th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
So I have 2 court dates coming up this month?
Well, you have 3, actually.
Oh,
You have a status conference. That's the first time you go. You meet with your attorney. They talk about this charge. They may or may not make a plea. And then the evidentiary hearing is the next day, just to determine whether it should continue to be held without bond.
That will be at this court?
Well, no, this is the...
At 4th Avenue?
It's not 4th Avenue. It's 175 South Madison.
I
Okay.
guess I'll figure it out when it happens.
Well, they'll be taking you there because you're going to be in custody without bond.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. All right, Mr. McNeil will be followed by Carlos Leyva Daval. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
James McNeil, 1363.
All right, so you're here on 2 cases. The first is number 19. It is a new charge of armed robbery, Class 2 felony.
Oh, wow.
The evidence is you threatened, not necessarily you showed a gun, but you threatened to shoot somebody as you were taking property from, I think it was a Dollar General. It's a Class 2 felony. The court has found probable cause. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $10,000. If you post the bond, you're not to return to the scene of this crime, no contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officer. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date is a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30, with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Your other case, number 36, is a probation violation for a Class 4 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On that case, there's a secured appearance bond of $250. The release conditions are largely exactly the same. Your court date is a probation revocation arraignment, possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, I never threatened to shoot nobody.
Excuse me?
I never threatened to shoot nobody.
Well, the witness and the alleged victim disagree with you, sir. So.
I never had no weapon, and I don't want to shoot somebody.
Sir, the bond was set lower than what the county attorney was recommending, actually significantly lower than the county attorney was recommending. Given your criminal history and everything else, the bond is what the court set it at. So the officer will give you some paperwork soon. You can step over there. Carlos Viela Deval was followed by Renee Gomez. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Carlos Villalba, 7/26/1995.
Thank you, sir. You're here on a Superior Court bench warrant for probation violation for a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. There's been a secured appearance bond set in your case in the amount of $750. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date would be a probation revocation arraignment possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. All right, Renee Gomez will be followed by Jesus Guzman.
Renee Gomez, 3601.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court warrant on a probation violation for a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. There's been a secured appearance bond set in your case in the amount of $500. If you post that bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 24 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation arraignment possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Jesus Guzman will be followed by Ashley Cooper. Sir, please tell me your name.
Jesus Oscar Guzman, 11/17/1992.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on two cases, the first of which is a new charge of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, unlawful flight from a law enforcement officer, Class 5 felony, aggravated assault, Class 6 felony, possessing drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, tampering with evidence, a Class 6 felony, hit and run, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to those charges. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. In this case, there's a security appearance bond set in the amount of $10,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. And you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30, with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court.
What does that mean, a preliminary hearing? What does that mean?
That means the state would have to produce evidence to show the judge there's probable cause to believe you committed these offenses. There's either in Arizona a preliminary hearing or a grand jury indictment. There's two ways to move the case forward into the Superior Court. Okay. But right now, there's a preliminary hearing tentatively set for July the 14th. But the court date you need to worry about is July the 10th. That's when you meet with your attorney. He or she will go over the police reports with you. There may or may not be an offer. But that's your next court date that you need to worry about is July the 10th.
And I can make bail?
Yeah, there's a $10,000 security appearance bond on this case.
What do you mean by I have to pay the whole $10,000 or like?
It's a security appearance bond, so you could go through a bonding company. Generally, they require 10% and some type of collateral. All right. The next case is a probation violation case. On that case, once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. On that case, there's a security appearance bond of $250. Other than that, the release conditions are exactly the same. Your court date on that is probation revocation arraignment disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30. Do you have any other questions, sir?
Oh, that's it.
Okay, thank you. You can step over there, sir. Ashley Cooper will be followed by Fernando Fierro. Please tell me your name
Ashley Cooper,
and your date of birth, ma'am.
9/25/87.
Okay. You're here on a warrant out of the East Mesa Justice Court. The public defender is appointed to represent you for the limited representation regarding the bond issue. On this case, it's a security appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post that bond, you're not to initiate any contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing in the East Mesa Justice Court on July the 11th. Excuse me, strike that. Your next court date is an arraignment hearing on July the 9th at 8:30, and that will be in writing. So it's July the 9th. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
So the bond is 500
It is.
to get released?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You step right over there. Mr. Fierro will be followed by Cameron Goslin. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Fernando Fierro, 11/45.
So you're here on two cases. The first is a Justice Court warrant out of the Agua Fria Justice Court on the misdemeanor charge of theft. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defendant for the public defender's office for the limited representation regarding the bond issue. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof for your local address. Your next court date on this is an arraignment hearing on July the 9th at 8:30 in the Agua Fria Justice Court. Your other case is also a Justice Court warrant on the charges of criminal damage and failing to obey a police officer, both misdemeanors. Once again, the public defender is appointed with a limited representation regarding the bond issue. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set at $500. The release conditions are otherwise exactly the same. Your court date is also July the 9th at 8:30, also in the Agua Fria Justice Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you. So you can step back over there. Mr. Gotham will be followed by Christopher Santiago Gomez. Excuse me, Santiago Gonzalez. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Cameron Goslin, April 28, 1988.
So you're here on a Superior Court bench warrant for failing to appear on the charges of 20 counts of shoplifting, all Class 4 felonies. The legal advocate's already been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $3,000. If you post the bond, you're not to issue contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Santiago Gonzalez will be followed by Deanna Delgado. Sir, please tell me your name
Christopher Santiago,
and your date of birth.
May 15th, 1999.
So you've been charged with one count of aggravated assault with serious physical injury, a Class 3 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that count. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a bond set. It's a cash-only bond in the amount of $10,000. If you post the bond, you'd also be subject to electronic monitoring through pretrial services. That electronic monitoring would have to be installed before release from jail.
What was that last one?
You have a $10,000 cash bond. You also have an ankle monitor that would have to be put on you before you're released from jail. Some of the release conditions include no initiating contact with the alleged victim, no initiating contact with the arresting officers, no possessing drugs without a valid prescription or driving without a valid driver's license. You must submit to DNA testing. You must continue to provide court proof of your local address. You may not reside at the same address as any alleged victim, even if you're the owner or renter of the residence. If there's a common residence with a victim, you're entitled to one civil standby with law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 14th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
So the cash bond is just to get released today?
Yes.
And then I would still have to come back to court on July, and then, so what was that? I heard earlier about the bond settlement agencies, that they can help out with bonds sometimes?
You can go through a bonding company if it's a secured bond, but a cash-only bond has to, like the name implies, it has to be a cash bond, so you can't go through a bonding company on a cash-only bond.
It would, oh, okay. They normally don't do cash only?
No.
Okay.
All right, so step back over there.
Yep.
Ms. Delgado will be followed by Ramon Bajorquez. Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Diana Delgado, January 8th, 1988.
All right. Ma'am, you're here on the charges of possessing dangerous drugs and drug paraphernalia, class 4 and class 6 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. I am going to release you to pretrial services. You don't have to post a bond. You just need to keep in contact with them and make sure you contact them when you get out. But you will be released on this case. Some of your release conditions include no initiating contact with any arresting officers, no possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, or driving without a valid driver's license. You to continue to provide court or proof of your local address. Your next court date is a status conference on July the 18th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 22nd. You need to make sure you contact pretrial services right when you get out. You'll be given an envelope with instructions on how to do that. Make sure you make your court date on the 18th. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. You can step over there.
Thank you.
Mr. Bajarques will be followed by Jermaine Comfy. Sir, state your name, please. Your name?
Ramon Bojorquez, April 5th, 1984.
All right, so you're charged with 1 count of trafficking stolen property. It's a class 2 felony. At this point, the court does not believe you're indigent, so you'll have to hire your own attorney. You are going to be released to pretrial services. You'll need to keep in contact with them and follow their directions, but you won't have to post a bond in order to get out. You're not initiating contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to submit to fingerprinting.
Okay.
Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 18th with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 22nd. Make sure you contact pretrial services and you make your court date on the 18th. Do you have any questions, sir?
So am I getting released today?
Yes, on this charge you're getting released.
And, no, that was it. Thank you so much.
All right. All right, Mr. Comfy will be followed by Michael Messiah. Sir, please tell me your name.
Jermaine Comfy,
And your date of birth, sir.
9/13/81.
So you've been charged with 1 count of possessing a firearm by a prohibited possessor. It's a class 4 felony. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, I am going to release you to pretrial services. So you just need to make sure you keep in contact with them. You don't have to post a bond in order to get out. All right? I'm going to go over some of your release conditions. You're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 18th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 22nd. Just make sure you contact pretrial services when you get out. You'll be given an envelope with directions on how to do that. Also, make sure you make your court date on July the 18th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, so you can step back over there. All right, Miss Michael, Miss Messiah. He'll be followed by Jarrell Galloway. Sir, step up to the podium, right there. Tell me your name and date of birth.
My name is Michael Emmanuel Masaya. I was born on October 7, 1988.
Okay, so you've been charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of threatening and intimidation. Those are both class 1 misdemeanors, 1 count of class 3 misdemeanor assault. The court found probable causes to those counts. The court found you to be indigent. Counsel will be appointed at your next court date. On this case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to have contact with the alleged victims. You're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription. No driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on July the 29th at 1:30 in the Surprise Municipal Court. you have any questions, sir?
Yes, I'm supposed to have an attorney. They told me they're gonna give me an attorney. I don't.
They will at your next court date. On this case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You'll meet with your attorney on July 29th, which is your next court date.
Yeah, it's on a surprise.
Yes.
All right.
And the address will be on the paperwork the officer will hand you. Make sure you keep that paperwork. All right, that's it, so you can step right over there.
Yeah. Last question.
Sure, go ahead.
They say I have warranty for 500 pounds. Because I don't understand. They need to tell me about it, and then I don't know. I don't get it.
So the only thing I have is on this case, you have no bond. You're going to be released on your own recognizance. I don't know anything about Scottsdale. You have the next court date is in.
Oh, yeah, for today, right? The one at Western Surprise?
The case that you're here for today, you were arrested for disorderly conduct, all those charges yesterday, and you're being released on that charge.
Yeah, I paid 200. I already give my money, and the money didn't rent. Everything's good.
Sir, I know nothing about anything other than this case. On this case, you're released on your own recognizance. All right, that's all I can tell you. The officer will give you some paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gallo will be followed by Quentin Davis.
Grand Rising, Your Honor. How you doing?
All right, sir. Tell me your name and date of birth.
I'm Gerard Galloway, September 15th of 96.
All right, sir. You're here on the charge of misdemeanor assault, class 1 misdemeanor. On this case, the court's found you to be indigent in order to appointing a public defender to represent you. You're going to be released to pretrial services. That just means you need to keep in contact with them. They'll give you directions on how to do that. I'm going to go over some of your release conditions with you. They'll all be in writing. You're not to initiate contact with the alleged victim. You're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court with proof of your local address. You may not reside at the same location as any alleged victim, even if you're the owner or renter of the residence. If you have a common residence with any alleged victim, one civil standby with law enforcement is permitted to retrieve any essential belongings. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on July the 23rd at 9 a.m. in the East Mesa Justice Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
I've never heard of the little thing that you said I would be released on. What is that?
Pretrial service is just an agency that helps you make your court dates. They remind you of your court date. They can give you other directions, but it's just basically, it's sort of like probation, but it's not.
Okay, so basically I just call them, check in and stuff like that?
And just follow whatever directions they give you, but you don't have to post a bond or anything to get out.
Okay, so will I be released today?
On this charge, you'll be released today.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Have a good rest of the day.
All right, Mr. Davis will be followed by Michael Pelliccia. Sir, please tell me your name.
Quentin Davis, August 1st, 1997.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here on a bond surrender on the charges of endangerment, a Class 6 felony, and DUI, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court's found you to be indigent in order to appoint the public defender to represent you. On this case, I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. I don't understand why they surrendered you on the bond, which it looks like you've already been sentenced, but I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. You are going to have a court date of July the 10th at 8:30 for a status conference. Very important you make your court date on July the 10th in the downtown Superior Court. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. So make sure you make your court date on the 10th. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, so you can step over there. All right, Michael Pelliccia. Sir, please tell me your name.
Michael Vincent Fletcher Jr.
And your date of birth.
2/17/85.
All right, sir, you're here on the charge of possession of narcotic drugs for sale to Class 2 felony. Based upon the information that I was given, I was not able to find probable causes to that count. Therefore, you are going to be released basically on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You must continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on July the 18th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 22nd. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, you can step over there and the officer will give you some paperwork. So no house calls? All right, good job, man. All right, do we have an interpreter on the line?
May I introduce myself?
You may certainly introduce yourself.
Hola, me llamo Posler, seré su intérprete de habla español. Todo lo que se mencione quedará confidencial. Den oraciones claras y cortas para que pueda interpretar todo. Wait for your instruction.
Sir, please state your name.
José Luis Cortés García.
Diga su nombre.
José Luis Cortés García.
Please wait until the interpreter interprets before you answer the question.
Por favor,
I don't need
deje
interpret.
que
I
el
don't need
intérprete.
All right. Let me ask him, he says he doesn't need an interpreter. Can you ask him in Spanish whether or not he needs an interpreter?
Señor, ¿sí o no necesita un intérprete?
No, es que estaba dormido. No escuché bien.
I was asleep.
All right.
I didn't hear well.
All right.
Anything else I might
Tell me
say?
your, well, just wait 1 second. Tell me your date of birth.
June 5th, 1989.
All right. Thank you. Well, we're going to drop the interpreter from this case then. Thank you very much for interpreting for us, however, sir.
Thank you for using our services. My name is Posler, interpreter ID 40763. Bye-bye.
All right, sir, you're here on a bench warrant on the charges of failing to stay at an injury or death accident, a Class 2 felony, aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, and endangerment, a Class 6 felony. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's a cash-only bond set in the amount of $750. Excuse me, $7,500. The bond is $7,500. If I didn't state it, the public defender is appointed to represent you. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. You must submit to DNA testing and law enforcement, DNA testing and fingerprinting. Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, you can step over there. All right, and that concludes the calendar, so we'll be off the record, and I'll work.
All right. Very good, Mr. Washington.
You may be seated. Good morning. This is the time set for the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for July 4th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I'm Commissioner Dyer. I'm going to explain a couple of things to you before we get started. First, I am going to call each of you up to the podium one by one, where you will tell me your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then tell you why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed to represent you, what your future court dates will be, what your bond will be if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. Some of you may have some questions while I'm providing this advisement. I just ask that you hold your questions until I complete that advisement. I'm also cautioning you that you should keep your questions directed towards release conditions only. This is a recorded proceedings. Any questions or statements that you make about your case could potentially be used against you, so I recommend that you save your questions about your case for your attorney. The first person that I am calling to the podium is, I'm having some difficulties, Mr. Kieras. Is that your client, Mr. Kieras? Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's here.
And do we have the state present?
I'm present, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's patience right now. I'm having some delays.
No problem.
Okay. So, would the state like to state their appearance at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Don Sauer on behalf of the state.
And Mr.
Crawshaw.
would you like to state your appearance now?
Yes, Judge, my name is Adam Crawshaw from Phoenix, Arizona, and I represent Mr. Quiros.
Thank you. And Mr. Quiros, will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, ma'am, I'm Delano Quiros, born February 20th, 2000.
Thank you. Mr. Crawshaw, do you waive a reading of the charges, or would you like for me to read the charges at this time?
We waive a reading of the charges. I'd like to address them.
Okay, so then the next thing that I need to address is probable cause. Do you want to be heard on probable cause?
Only as to the burglary and the kidnapping. I don't think there's anything in the state's documents that I have that would support a burglary or a kidnapping.
Did you receive the addendum form 4? There was a supplement to the probable cause statement. Did you receive that?
Yes.
Okay. So then, what is your basis that you believe that there's nothing in the probable cause statement or the addendum that supports the charge of burglary or kidnapping?
I think that would be duplicative of the armed robbery charge.
Okay. And Ms. Sauer, do you want to be heard on probable cause at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I need just a moment, please. I'm having some technical difficulties, and I'm trying to find my release recommendation.
Well, the issue right now is he's making an argument regarding probable cause.
I understand that. I just thought I had some details in that. Regarding the kidnapping, I believe that the supplement that was sent addresses that the victim was forced to move from the front of the store to the back of the store at gunpoint. And for the burglary, the Form 4 indicates that the co-defendant was waiting outside in the vehicle. I believe it's pretty obvious that the defendant intended to commit the armed robbery at the time he entered the building.
Thank you. Mr. Crushaw, anything further regarding probable cause?
I just don't know what supports the breaking and entering on the burglary as far as elements go. I think the first two elements in burglary are completely absent.
Well, the first element is entering or remaining unlawfully in or in a non-residential structure with an intent to commit theft or any felony therein.
Thank you, Judge.
So,
I understand.
So at this time, I am going to make a finding, a probable cause as to all of the counts. I did, from reviewing your notice of appearance, it looks like it was a limited notice of appearance. So I did make a finding of indigency as well for your client, should the need arise.
Thank you.
There will be a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. At this time, I will give parties an opportunity to be heard on release conditions. Ms. Sauer, would you like to put your recommendations or make a record at this time regarding release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $50,000 secured appearance bond. Given the nature of the allegations, this is an armed robbery. It has the PC finding of kidnapping as well. It was inherently dangerous and could have had a much worse outcome.
Mr. Crushaw?
Yes. Judge, my client's mother is in town from Virginia. He was born in Arizona. His aunt, Candace Carrillo, has just passed away, and her funeral is on the 12th or the 13th of next week. So not this coming week, but in 10 days. And so we're asking that his bond conditions be, at least the bond amount be reduced. We don't have a problem with any of the other conditions. He's already been found indigent. We would consent. I visited with him in jail last night. Mr. Quiros would consent to an ankle monitor, certainly, and full pretrial services, whatever the court wants to order. But random drug testing, whatever the court wants to do. But we're asking for the bond amount to be reduced. Because he's indigent, $1,000 is just as likely to secure his appearance as $50.
I did have, so I will just let everybody know, I am apologizing right now for, I think there's something going on with ISIS. I keep having an issue. So
Yes.
I'm going to just go, I will just go ahead and just, but the orders may not be available like right now because it's not allowing me to do anything with it at the moment, so my apologies. I do want to make a note that I did review the victim impact statement also prior to the hearing. So I am going to order the following. I am going to order a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. I note that there is a lack of criminal history, but in taking into consideration what occurred, the fact that there was a weapon involved, also just probably the court can also note from reviewing the probable cause statement that the victim was put in some type of fear. So in making a decision about whether or not to impose bond or not, I have to look at the seriousness of the offense, the safety of the victim, the safety of the community. And in this instance, I do believe a secured appearance bond is appropriate due to the inherent nature of the offense, the fact that there was allegedly a gun was involved in this, and that there is an alleged co-defendant involved here. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot have any contact with the alleged co-defendant. You cannot possess any weapons. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond would be imposed. I think, so if there, I'm not sure if counsel wants to be heard on anything further at this time. Either counsel?
Yes, please, I'll let the plaintiff go first.
Pardon me?
Does the plaintiff need to go first? I don't want to outstep the rules.
Either, Ms. Sauer, do you want to be heard?
This
Or is there anything further?
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure, since it's not going to be printed immediately, it's the $25,000 cash or surety.
Yes,
correct?
I'm not sure. I've changed it. Can you see it on your, okay. Are you able to print it? I just need your signature. Okay, so that's the issue, is that it's not letting me sign.
Oh. Understood.
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay.
so if we could just take a break for 1 second, I'm going to try to just restart. I think maybe I just have to restart. I keep getting this application error.
Judge, I just managed to get back into ISIS, but I had to close my browser and reopen it.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
Well, I'm going to try whatever it is that we have to do to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Okay, I'm still getting that error message and now nothing will come up. I cannot see the calendar at all. All right, I'm going to take a brief recess. I'm going to go and just grab my laptop.
May I be excused in the interview room with my client?
Sure.
Computer issues. Was it? Oh, isn't that great? Yes, I just couldn't believe it. And I told them before. I mean, I gave them Sunday morning. Sorry, he has a co-defendant out here with that white shirt with the dress, who's holding. And I have one more. podium. Yeah. What it is, I mean, my head count stays in the rating. So, head count.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What's the sun there? Mark, okay? Where was it?
My laptop is not working either. So, oh, run it, I grabbed the wrong thing. I'm gonna bring in my stamp, my signature stamp, and we're just gonna print. So my message is right.
Well, I was wondering.
Okay, so I'm not sure if there's anything else. We're just gonna go ahead and print it out and give you a stamped copy, so you will leave with your release conditions now. There's nothing further. You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
So the issue now is that I cannot see the calendar. What is the, do you have your copy of the release conditions? Okay, okay, thank you. The officer's gonna let you out.
I explained my client that was further.
Thank you. Ms. Fowler, if there's nothing further, you may be excused as well. Oh, she is, okay. So can somebody just print, I don't know if anybody else can see the calendar and then they can just print it out, but I still can't, I don't even know what to do. Okay. Okay. The next person that I'm going to call to the podium is Nicholas Day. If you'll please come to the podium. And to Ms. Erickson, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Nicholas Day. next person, please go. Right there, please.
Mr. Day, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Nicholas Day, October 15th, 1887.
Sir, you are here today on two matters. You have one new case, and then you have a warrant that was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. On your new case, you were charged with one count of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that these new alleged charges occurred, you're not eligible for bond today by statute. So I did have to schedule an evidentiary hearing for you for July 11th at 1:30. Then as to your warrant for failing to appear for your court date, an attorney was already appointed to represent you in that matter. You have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. Your warrant had a cash bond in the amount of $1,000. I would caution against attempting to post bond. It would not secure your release because you're being held not bondable in the new case. So all bond issues will probably be addressed at your hearing, your evidentiary hearing on July 11th at 1:30. This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Ms. Erickson, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Thomas, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Sarah Erickson, 4/26/1980.
You are here today on two matters. You have one new case, and then you have a warrant that was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. On your new case, you were charged with 2 counts of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that these alleged offenses occurred, you're not eligible for bond today by statute. So I did schedule an evidentiary hearing for you for July 11th at 1:30. Then as to your warrant for failing to appear for a court date, an attorney was already appointed to represent you in that matter. You have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. I would caution you against attempting to post bond. It will not secure your release because you're being held not bondable in the new matter. All bond issues will probably be addressed at your evidentiary hearing on July 11th at 1:30. So this takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Thomas, will you please come to the podium, and Mr. Mathis, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. So, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Sean Thomas, 12/19/05.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you are able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services on electronic monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot have any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that have been issued, you must comply with the terms of those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You are permitted 1 civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. Please be advised that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. a warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Mathis, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Ransom, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. One moment. Do we have any word on anything? Okay. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Travis Mathis, 11/12/1995.
Sir, you are here today because I believe that this is a grand jury warrant, and a grand jury charged you with, I think it was prisoner in, I believe it was contraband. I'm so sorry I'm not able to read the warrant to you right now. It is a Class 2 felony. Give me one moment. Unfortunately, I'm not able to advise you of the date of the offense, but it was possessing contraband, I believe in a prison setting, a Class 2 felony. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. The grand jury, I'm so sorry, you have an arraignment hearing on July 11th at 8:30. The grand jury warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to postpone, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
The question I have is, no one seemed to be telling me what I'm, really getting taken for. I just came home. I haven't been home for 60 days yet.
So I just told you what I just told you what the warrant, what you've been charged with.
Yeah.
So something happened while you were in prison. That's the best guess I have. It's a grand jury warrant, so I don't have that information. I can only go off of the charge and then what the bond amount is. And unfortunately, because I am not able to go into the docket, I'm not able to tell you when the grand jury warrant was signed. I apologize for that, but the allegation is that something occurred while you were in custody somewhere that was deemed to be you being in possession of contraband in a prison setting or a correctional facility, and that's what you were charged with, and it's a Class 2 felony. And then the determination was that a $10,000 secured appearance bond that's what was ordered on the warrant.
All right.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you. Probably your attorney will be able to meet with you, hopefully before your court date, but if not, they should have more information and would be able to give you additional information by the time you go to court.
All right.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Mr. Ransom, will you please come to the podium, and Mr. Jose Torres, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. So, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Paul Ransom, June 14th, 1949.
So you are here today on a new case. You were charged with one count of, you actually have 2 counts of theft, Class 3 felonies, and 2 counts of theft of a credit card, a Class 5 felony. I found probable cause as to 2 of the theft counts and 2 of the theft of a credit card account. I did not find theft or control on one of the theft charges, and I believe that that was the offense dated for November 8th. The second count of theft was dated, there was 2 counts dated November 6th, and then 2 counts of theft of a credit card, and that was dated, I believe, October 21st, was the date of those offenses. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. I did order a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. The reason why, the court will note the reason why the bond is at $5,000 is that Mr. Ransom was seen yesterday on related charges and has a significant bond in that matter. If you are able to post bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond would be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Torres, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Salgado, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Officer, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jose Torres, October 15, 2005.
You are here today on a new case. You are charged with 1 count of driving with a license that was suspended, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of carrying a deadly weapon, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of failing to obey a police officer, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of carrying a weapon during the commission of a felony offense. And I believe on the account of carrying a deadly weapon, I believe it was under the age of 21. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you are able to post bond, you cannot possess any weapons. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond would be imposed. This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork.
Wait, can you repeat that again?
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
This way, please. Have a seat on the left.
Mr. Salgado, if you'll please come to the podium. And Dolce Perez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. So can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
August 26, 1993.
You are here today because you have 2 probation violation warrants. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. Wait, no. I'm sorry, these are warrants for failing. Oh. I believe these are warrants for failing to appear for court dates. Are you able to see your screen?
No, it's not loading at all.
Okay. I believe that you have 2 warrants for failing to appear for court dates. Attorneys were appointed to represent you in both matters already. You do have a status conference hearing on July 8th at 9 a.m. on both matters. Each of those warrants have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. If you are able to post bond, you must appear for your court dates. Failure to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Warrants would issue for your arrest again, and additional bond could be imposed. This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork.
Ms.
Dulce Perez, if you'll please come to the podium, and Ms. Johnson, will you please have a seat in the chair? Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name?
Dulce Olivia Candela Perez, April 22, 1994.
Thank you. You are here today on two matters. You have one new case, and then you have a probation violation. On your new case, you were charged with one count of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor, one count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, one count of aggravated assault on a police officer, a Class 6 felony, one count of shoplifting through concealment, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of obstructing a highway or public thoroughfare, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. As to your probation violation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. In that matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. Your total secured appearance bond is $3,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed.
Okay.
This completes my advisement to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, will you please come to the podium, and Ms. Tillman, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, Ms. Johnson, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Mary Ann Johnson, 12/27/92.
Thank you. You are here today because you have two probation violation warrants. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100 per warrant, so your total secured appearance bond is $200. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Warrants would issue for your arrest again, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Tillman, will you please come to the podium, and Mr. Heck, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Good morning. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Maria Tillman, 123/74.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a probation violation warrant. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. Your warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed.
I don't know why she put the warrant out when she knew where I was. I've been living in SOS.
So
She put me
right
there.
now, I can't look at the screen to be able to tell you the reasons why. I'm not able to answer that for you
Yeah,
right
because
now.
she knew where I was the whole time.
So that's an issue that you will need to tell your attorney to make that argument for you when you go to court.
When do I have court again?
July 10th at 8:30.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Heck, will you please come to the podium, and Mr. Delgadillo, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Ethan Heck, July 7, 2000.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a probation violation warrant. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. Your warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $200. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure you appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
All right.
have a seat on the left.
Mr. Zagavilio, if you'll please come to the podium, and Mr. Washington, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Okay, can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Francisco Zarradio, 092891.
You are here today because you have a warrant, and I believe that this is an out-of-county warrant. It looks like it's Pima County Justice Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have an arraignment hearing on July 9th at 8:30. Your warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything I needed to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, you'll step to your left. Officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Washington, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Venata, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Sorry.
Can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
William Washington, 25083.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a probation violation warrant. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. Your warrant does have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you're able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, that would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have any questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Mr. Washington, have a seat and echo on the left, please.
Mr. Venata, if you'll please come to the podium, and Mr. Fay, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Calvin Venata, May 2nd, 95.
Thank you. You are here today because you were charged with, on a new case, you were charged with 1 count of criminal damage, Class 2 misdemeanor, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts due to the nature, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on July 9th at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that have been issued, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You are permitted one civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. You are cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and additional bonds could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Fay, if you will please come to the podium, and Mr. Raymond Ramirez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Mark Fay, F-A-Y, 7/19/1970.
You are here today because you have, it looks like you have a warrant out of a justice court, but I'm not able to tell you which justice court. But your paperwork will tell you where you need to be for your court date. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You have an arraignment hearing on July 24th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Yes.
Okay. Failure to appear for your court date will result in another warrant issuing for your arrest. And if that happens and you come back and you're in front of me, I will likely impose the bond on the warrant. Okay?
You'll what?
I will impose the warrant. I will impose the bond on the warrant. I'm giving you an opportunity to take care of it.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So that takes care of everything I needed to advise you of. If you have no questions, you can step to your left. Officer will give you your paperwork.
On the left and back.
Mr. Ramirez, will you please come to the podium? Mr. Grotberg, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Raymond Ramirez, 3/5/1981.
Thank you. You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on July 18th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 22nd at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Yes.
You do have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. I will tell you that I am giving you an opportunity. I was weighing whether or not to impose a bond. I believe that the state had requested a bond in this matter, but based on your criminal history and that you had not been in any trouble in a while, I'm giving you an opportunity to be on release. So please understand that if you do not comply with release conditions, a warrant will issue and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
I do understand, and I thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
So if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the left and back, please.
Mr. Guppert, will you please come to the podium and Angelica Rangel, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, my name is Eric Grotberg, 9/11/1987.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a warrant out of Peoria Municipal Court. Due to the nature of the charge, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You do have an arraignment hearing on July 24th at 9 a.m. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Failure to, wait, no. I don't believe that this is the case. I believe that this is I think this is a new case. I need to take a pause because I believe that this is a new case and not a warrant. But I don't have any way to double check. Can we, no, this is Eric Gladberg. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So I have to restate everything for you. I'm so sorry. This is actually a new case, and you were charged with 1 count of assault with intent to injure, Class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause, and it's kind of loaded here. I did find probable causes to both counts due to the nature of the charges. You are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You will have an arraignment hearing on July 24th at 9 a.m. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
I promise.
You do have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You are permitted, when civil standby with local law enforcement, to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. You're also cautioned that if you fail to comply with the no victim contact order, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and a bond would be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Rangel, will you please come to the podium? Well, ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Angelica Rangel, 7/22/88.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on July 18th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 22nd at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Yes.
You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you must appear for your court date. Failure to do so would result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, this takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, you'll please step to your left. The officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Tisnado, if you'll please come to the podium. And Baylin Estrella, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Justin Tisnado, August 23rd, 1998.
You are here today. You have 1 new case, and then you have a probation violation. On the new case, you were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. You do have a status conference hearing on July 18th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 22nd at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
As to your probation violation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July 10th at 8:30. Again, I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This completes my advisement to you. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Baylin Estrella, will you please come to the podium? We're gonna, you know what, I have to move some things around, I think. Oh, I can't see. Yes, you know what, yes, do call. Okay, ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Belen Martinez Estrella, May 4, 1989.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of theft, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of theft of a credit card, a Class 5 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on July 18th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 22nd at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear? Failure to appear for your court dates or failure to comply with the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Failure to comply with those release conditions or appear for your court date would result in a warrant issuing for your arrest. A bond would be imposed. Do you understand? This takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this morning. If you have no questions for me, you'll step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you. We're working on getting the interpreter.
So while we're waiting for the interpreter, I will attempt to do the house call if I'm able to see. Mr. Christopher Jellum. Is here on a warrant out of Peoria, 2 warrants out of Peoria Municipal Court. He is not physically present in court due to bizarre behavior. He has an arraignment hearing on July 24th at 9 o'clock on both matters. An attorney was not appointed to him as he's not entitled to one due to the nature of the charges. The court is inclined to release him on his own recognizance. He will be advised that if he fails to appear for his court date, that warrants would issue for his arrest again, and bonds will likely be imposed. After I meet with Mr. Jellum, I will, if any changes are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. Is the interpreter able to hear the court? I'm sorry. Is the interpreter able to hear the court?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're going to start now. Mr. Wedeki Nando, will you please come to the podium?
Bonjour, Monsieur Wadiki Nando. Pouvez-vous venir au podium, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, bonjour, madame, ça va?
Mr. Nando,
Good morning.
Please be advised that because we are using an interpreter, Madam Interpreter, I do need for you to interpret what I am saying.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was waiting for the first step. Soyez informés que parce que vous utilisez l'interprète.
When I ask you questions, you have to wait for the interpreter to interpret for you.
Lorsque je vous poserai une question, vous devez attendre à ce que l'interprète interprète pour vous.
Ok, ça c'est bien.
Can you please tell me your first and last name and your date of birth?
Pouvez-vous, s'il vous plaît, me dire votre nom, votre prénom et votre nom de famille et aussi votre date de naissance?
C'est le 10 mai 1996.
May 10, 1996.
You are here today on a new case.
Donc, vous êtes ici aujourd'hui, présenté devant nous.
Okay.
You were charged with 1 count of armed robbery, a Class 2 felony.
Et vous êtes accusé et chargé de compte pour vol à main armée, un crime de classe 2.
C'était quand là? Parce que
I did find probable cause as to that offense.
Et je vous trouve probablement en foi de cet incident.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Et j'ai pris un avocat pour vous représenter.
You do have a status conference hearing on July 10th at 8:30.
Et vous avez une représentation à la cour le 10 juillet à 8h30.
You have a preliminary hearing on July 14th at 8:30.
Vous devez aussi vous présenter à la cour le 14 juillet à 8h30.
vous avez dit à 10h30?
I'm going to ask Mr. Nando to stop interrupting the court.
Je vais vous demander, M. Nando, d'arrêter d'interrompre le tribunal.
He may ask questions after I complete my advisement to him.
Vous pouvez poser des questions après que je vous ai donné toutes les informations.
Because you were on felony release at the time that this alleged offense occurred,
Et parce que vous avez été en libération conditionnelle pour crime au moment de cette infraction présumée qui a eu lieu,
you are not eligible for bond by law.
vous n'êtes pas éligible pour vous n'êtes pas éligible à une libération sous caution en vertu de la loi.
You will have an evidentiary hearing on July 11th at 1:30 to address the issue.
Et vous allez comparaître devant le tribunal et vous aurez une écoute, vous aurez procès le 11 juillet 13h30 à l'adresse que je vais vous donner.
This completes my advisement to you. I do understand that you may have some questions.
Et ça sont les conseils que j'ai pour vous. Et si vous n'avez pas compris quelque chose, vous pouvez poser des questions.
A reminder that your questions should only be asked to your release conditions and not about your case.
Et juste pour vous rappeler, les questions doivent être uniquement basées sur les conditions de votre liberté et non sur le cas en lui-même.
Do you still have questions?
Avez-vous toujours des questions à me poser?
Oui, j'ai des questions. J'ai une autre caisse là, le 14 juillet à 8h30. C'est pour cela que je voulais le dire, le juge là, comment je vais faire. Et aujourd'hui là, j'ai 2 examens. Et hier, j'en ai un, mais je l'ai fait au côte là parce que je suis allé voir l'autre avocat.
So I have a question. I also have a case on July 14 at 8, and that's why I wanted to mention it to the judge to explain how I should manage things. Because today I have 2 exams. Yesterday I had 1 too, and I took it on the side because I went to see the other lawyer.
You will be transported for all of your court dates while you're in custody of the sheriff's office.
Alors, vous serez transporté à toutes vos visites à la cour pendant que vous serez en détention sous la responsabilité du bureau du shérif.
Cela veut dire que elle me arrête ou parce que je suis un étudiant et j'ai des examens et ma maman est à l'hôpital maintenant à Banner Hospital.
I'm going to stop right here because I can glean that Mr. Nando is asking me to take other things into consideration.
Donc, je vais vous arrêter là et je voudrais que vous preniez d'autres choses en considération.
I am not able to take other things into consideration because by statute, by the law, I am not able to grant bail today.
Alors, je ne pourrai rien prendre en considération, je ne peux pas vous libérer et je ne suis pas en mesure de prendre d'autres éléments en considération car selon la loi, je n'ai pas le pouvoir d'accorder une libération sous caution aujourd'hui.
Comment je vais faire pour le 14 juillet là, à à 8h30 parce que j'ai une autre caisse là.
I do have another case on July 14. How am I gonna do this?
Okay, so I have already answered this question, and I'm not gonna answer it again. I believe I am going to go ahead and conclude the hearing now, and Mr. Nando may step to the left and grab his paperwork.
Alors, je vous ai déjà répondu à cette question et je ne vais pas répondre encore à cette question.
Mais j'ai pas compris, c'est pour cela. J'ai pas compris. Comment je vais faire parce que le 14, j'ai des caisses. Comment je vais appeler le tout là.
I did not understood the answer. That's why I asked if you can repeat, because on the 14th I have another call.
Madam Interpreter, thank you for your assistance. You may be excused at this time.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Thank you for using our service.
Can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Date of birth? Date of birth.
You heard?
Yeah, okay, much better. Okay, what was the question again?
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
My first name, Manuel Sergio Ruiz. Date of birth, it's 4/28/1958.
You are here today because I believe you're here on a new case. It is a warrant, okay, I'm so sorry. You're here today on a warrant, is it a direct complaint or grand jury? Mine did too. I believe that a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with one count of aggravated assault on I believe it was a child.
A minor?
I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on July 18th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on July 22nd at 8:30. I am going to release you to pretrial services on electronic monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot have any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. You cannot have any contact with any minor children. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued, you must comply with those orders. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failure to appear for your court dates will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest. Do you promise to appear for your court dates?
I promise.
And do you understand that if you fail to appear for your court dates or comply with your release conditions, that a warrant will issue for your arrest?
Correct.
Okay, that takes care of everything that I need to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Just wait for me by the door, please.
This completes our 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar. We stand in recess until 11 a.m.
Join purple button.
they're a little bit behind. So while we wait, I'm gonna look up for another court right now. I know Dade County's going on. Oh, you know what? Let me see this really quick. Yeah. Hey, what up? I'm not the one. How's it going? What up? Who was that over here? I missed it. What up? What's up? Let me see here. Hey, thank you for that, Lexi. Highly appreciate that. Let's see, nothing's going on there. Nothing's going on there. All right, cool. So we're gonna check out. Let's check out. Let me close this down here for a bit so we could still hear. And I will open up Zoom right now. Hey, what up, Boo? How's it going? So far today, they've had the 5 a.m., the 8 a.m. court. They should be having the 11 a.m. But we'll see. Unless nobody got arrested. What do you guys think? I think it's highly unlikely nobody got arrested. But hey, I've seen crazier things happen. Is anybody doing anything interesting for the 4th? Let me see here. Select stream. Here we go. Send. Okay, join meeting. Okay, let's see. Is Kimberly Fernandez, is she on right now? Let's see. Ain't nobody got time for that. They were just letting people go on warnings here last night. What? Virtual bond hearing. All right. It looks like they're really behind today, so we'll see.
Appointed the public defender. The court
all right, here we
makes
go.
a finding of probable cause for the arrest of Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown.
I see his priors.
All right, so this is Miami-Dade County here that we're
The
currently
court
in
is
right
going
now.
to enter bond on count 1, 4,000. Count 2, 1,000. You see?
I'm watching that on. Yeah,
Hold on
yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Count 1, 4,000. Count 2. Count 1, 4,000. Count 2, 1,000.
1,000, 2, 1,000.
Malcolm Cooper.
Archived. Let me see. Activate.
F2514007. Malcolm Cooper.
On his misdemeanor, Your Honor, you gave him a bond of 150.
150.
I'm sorry, 150. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Cooper, all right. You've been appointed the public
What up,
defender's
Becca?
officer. The court makes a finding of probable cause for your arrest.
All right, that's all set up.
State what is the amount of bond you're asking for on this battery by detainee.
State would be asking for a slightly elevated bond of 3,000 due to the prior conviction.
Hey, happy 4th to all of you. Hey, what's up, Vic?
Defense is requesting standard bond of 2,500.
What up, Hot Mess?
What are, can I see his priors? The court is going to enter bond in the amount of $3,000.
Hey, thank you, Hot Mess. Happy 4th to you and your family as well, if you will. Anibel.
Joshua Morales, F2513986.
Hey, love mine. Thank you.
Mr. Morales is present, Your Honor, and does not need the services of the Spanish interpreter.
Happy 4th.
Okay, thank you.
Defense stands mute as to PC and is requesting pretrial services,
What up,
alternate
Tiffany?
standard bond.
May I see his prior state? The court is going to appoint the public defender's office on this case. The court is making a finding of probable cause.
Your Honor, on his traffic, you gave him a bond of 3,500.
Thank you.
We're doing it for the July planning. That's right. That's what's up.
Okay, on count one, possession of controlled substance, the court is entering bond in the amount of 3,000. On count two, possession of drug paraphernalia, it's going to be 1,000. Count three, petty theft, it's going to be 300.
Hey, what's up, Lindsay? Happy 4th. Perfect timing. Just got off of work. Hell yeah.
And there's going to be a stay away order from the Walmart located at 21151 South Dixie Highway in Miami.
Damn, where's he going to do his shoplifting at now? Can't go to Walmart on Dixie Highway. What's up, Anita? How's it going? Happy 4th. What up, Montana?
Okay, next case I have on the calendar is,
What up, Jeanette? From Australia. No, hold on.
I don't know, address Riggins?
Your Honor, he's a V-Box. He's being held no bond on F-24 19011.
Oh, that's down here. How you doing? I can't complain. I just woke up. I'm a bit on
Yes,
the tired
correct.
side, but I'm here.
To reset it for tomorrow.
We need-
For whatever reason, the acorn system did not.
Okay, Mr.
What up,
Riggins'
Pancho?
case needs to be reset for tomorrow. The court is unable to obtain a copy of the arrest form.
What up, watching from
It did not
Ireland?
print for the clerk. Next
up
case,
from
Andy
Australia?
Fernandez
What up, Ashley?
Noy.
What up, Lynn?
Your Honor, he has a hold for immigration.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Ms. Arthur, let me know if he needs the services of the Spanish interpreter.
Danielle, watching from the UK.
I will, Your Honor, as soon as he's present. He's not here yet.
Okay,
You said Mr. Fernandez, correct, Your Honor?
yes.
Okay.
Not here yet?
Almost.
So, in certain places, court happens
He does
all
require
the
the
time.
services of the Spanish interpreter,
Dade
Your
County is
Honor.
one of those places that they have court
With the
every single
assistance
day.
of the Spanish interpreter?
This is
Your
real.
Honor, if you could
This
just
is
repeat,
live.
or if corrections could repeat the hold so that Mr. Fernandez could hear.
This is happening in real time.
detención que tiene? Un momento. He has a hold for immigration.
Tiene detención de inmigración. What up, Nicole?
Okay. All right, on Mr. Fernandez Noy, the court is going to appoint the public defender's office to represent him.
Para el señor Fernández Noy se le va a asignar el abogado de oficio para que lo represente.
Okay,
This is
the
Miami
court has
Dade.
made a finding of probable
Florida.
cause for his arrest.
Hallo que sí existe motivo fundado por el arresto.
And may I see his priors, please?
Yes, no.
He has no
Thank you for
priors.
that,
Okay, so
Daily.
what are you asking for in terms of bond standard?
Él no tiene antecedentes que están solicitando en cuanto a fianza estándar.
Okay, so count one is going to be 2,500. Count two, 2,500.
Entonces el cargo número 1 será fianza de $2,500. Cargo número 2, fianza de $2,500.
So, si hablan español, tienen un intérprete que les traduce. Muchas de las veces, pues, los jueces aquí no hablan español. Y si hablan español, todavía necesitan un intérprete. So pretty much what I said was that even if the judges speak Spanish, they still need to get an interpreter because they need to interpret.
Okay, next
English to
case,
Spanish.
Leandro
From
Felix
Spanish to
Gonzalez.
If you will.
The defender refused. He also is out on felony bond on F-25 12848.
Okay, so he used, he will be then.
Your Honor, I can go ahead and waive his presence, stand mute as to PC and request standard bond.
On Mr. Gonzalez, okay, so
Hey, what up, Amanda? If you will. What up, Nicole?
okay, there's
What
going
up,
to be a felony hold on F25 12848.
What up, News? Lindsay.
He can appear before Judge Million. The court is appointing the public defenders, finding probable cause for the arrest.
What up, JB?
And
What up,
as
69?
to count
What up, Liz?
1, petty
What up, Nikki?
theft, the court is going to enter bond
What
in the
up,
amount of $3,500. On count 2, it's going to be $1,000. On count 3, $1,000.
Shannon, thank you for that daily heart. Jordan, thank you for that follow.
Damien Muta.
Jared, thank you. Happy
He's
4th of
present
July
before
to
the
you
court, Your
also.
Honor.
He's not present.
Laughing out
I'm
loud,
sorry,
two
Miss
pages
Arthur, I
are-
didn't hear you.
Mr. Guaida is present.
Okay, thank you.
This
Does
is
he need the
Miami-Dade,
services of the Spanish interpreter?
Florida. Jordan,
Your
thank
Honor.
you.
All right, thank you. All right, the court is going to appoint the public defender's office to represent Mr. Guta.
Guta.
The court has reviewed the arrest form, finds probable cause for his arrest. State, may I see his priors?
Damn, they got that fool in the Ninja Turtle suit. That fool looks out of it. That fool looks like he's on that prehistoric
Thank you.
time right there, looking like a caveman. And if you guys, oh no, you guys can't even see it because I'm blocking it here. Let me move this a little bit like so you guys can see him a little bit better. Damn, I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Okay.
You know, gracias. Give me life.
The court is going to enter bond in the amount of $2,500 for this
Happy
case.
4th, Lori. We're in Miami-Dade County in Florida. What's Uncle wearing? He's wearing a Ninja Turtle suit.
William Henry, F2513997.
Your Honor, he has a hold for the Department of Corrections.
He's wearing a schmuck, if you
Thank
will.
you.
Corrections, you said there was a hold for immigration?
No, there's a hold for the Department of Corrections.
Oh, okay.
No bond.
If they wear that, they're a danger to themselves. They want to hurt themselves.
On a case
so they put him in a padded
that's
room.
a second-degree homicide.
What? Damn. That escalated quickly.
Okay.
Understood, Your Honor. Mr. Henry is present. Defense stands mute as to PC and requests standard bond on all counts.
Okay. State, may I see the priors, please?
Why? So I think that the Ninja Turtle suit that they're wearing, or
Okay,
the
the
green
court is
smock,
appointing the public defender's office for purposes of this hearing. The court is finding probable cause for
he's a
his
gladiator.
arrest.
What up, Hector? So that smock there, they can, I believe they can. It's flame resistant. They can't rip it. They can't use it like to tie it up and hurt themselves. So that's why they put it in there. But that's why they put it on them, or they make them wear it. And I guess like that, they don't need a cover because their body stays warm. I don't know how warm that's gonna keep them, but
What is the bond amount normally
good luck
on
to them.
arson?
Is prevent them from harming themselves and others.
First
right,
degree?
Jared?
Yes, Your Honor.
Might as well just give them a little tinfoil.
Corrections, do you have the bond amount for
Cover.
arson, first degree?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Is that
Okay.
a turtle suit?
It's $7,500.
Okay. All right, the court is going to enter bond in the amount of $10,000 for arson, first degree.
Damn, 10,000 smackaroonies. That fool ain't going nowhere.
Next, Joshua Harrison. There are two cases for Mr. Harrison, F2513964 and F2513963.
Thank you, Hector.
And I believe that there are two open felony cases.
Hey, what up, the one and only? Do they have fireworks in jail? Yeah, actually, they
Corrections,
do.
are there any holds on the felony cases that are printing F2513859 and F?
But not the fireworks we're used to, the one
Got
and
it.
only.
Okay, these are added charges. Okay.
They are cuffed. They are handcuffed in this court.
State, do you have his priors with you?
Yes.
The
Okay.
only
All right,
thing they
Mr.
call that,
Harrison, good afternoon, sir. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent you on these two cases.
Sorry, Your Honor, before we go further, I have one.
Beth writes, court
Three
on a
cases?
holiday. Interesting.
You have 3 cases?
I have two.
We have two.
Okay, I have F 13859, F 13895, F 13963, F 13694.
We just have 6-4 and 6-3.
Right, we only have 6-4 and 6-3.
Okay, I'll reset the other two for tomorrow
They
then.
never sleep.
Okay,
So
all right,
here we
so
are.
the court is appointing the yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't get much American than
They
that.
were done yesterday.
Welcome to America, right?
They were done yesterday, corrections.
Ay, ay, ay.
No, this is a new jail card.
Why is she digging in her
On
pants for?
F-25-13859, it states that on 7-3, he was bonded out for corrections.
Okay, so we have to, yes, do you want to reset the whole card for tomorrow then? Because it's not gonna appear.
I'm gonna say that we should reset everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll be reset. All of them will be reset for tomorrow so that they can all be addressed in a coherent manner.
And if
Eric, would you be able to do that? Because I can't do it on my end.
I'll try, and if anything happens and it doesn't hurt, please call me tomorrow so I can get the 8 pumped, okay?
Okay, no problem.
So, there are some victims who I noted, I just see are on Zoom.
For this case, Your Honor?
Victims on the Zoom? Court on the
Okay.
weekend?
For the victims who are on
a
Zoom.
holiday. This
On
is
Joshua
Miami-Dade.
Harrison, there's a Sabrina Ferreira that put a note in the chat. Sabrina de Matos de Jesus Ferreira. Ma'am, you can appear on, okay, and Matias Rodriguez. There are a number of folks that are on Zoom. I see them. On
Damn.
Mr. Harrison's case, I understand that you are all some of the victims on his cases. His
Victims?
cases are being addressed tomorrow because not all of the cases are before the court.
Hey, thank you for that daily heart.
Okay. Bianca, can you assist here? I think that they understand. There's a time for tomorrow. Around what time is felonies tomorrow? Same time?
Yes, we're always the last ones to be heard.
The court will address it's not me, it's gonna be a different judge. The felony calendar is the last calendar to be heard. For bond hearings, we start at 9 a.m., but usually bond hearings for felonies does not start till about
Anywhere between 11:30 and 1 p.m.
anytime between 11:30 and 1 p.m. It depends on how many cases there are before it in both juvenile and misdemeanor court. So I'm sorry, can I give you a more precise time? Perhaps one of you can log in.
The one and only. Thank you for
But
that.
it could be anywhere between 11:30 approximately and 1 o'clock. And as you see, now it's 2:22 and I'm just calling the case now. So thank you all.
Oh, is it over already? Come
You're
on, Your
welcome
Honor.
to all come back tomorrow and address the court.
Hold up. What up, Ann? Hey,
Okay,
thank you, Ann.
Junior Castro de Los Angeles.
De Los Angeles. No, it's not over.
Your Honor, he has a hold for immigration.
Okay, thank you.
Saludos.
welcome.
What up?
He is present before the court, Your Honor.
All right, does he require the services of the interpreter or no?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. With the assistance of the Spanish interpreter, the court is calling the case of Junior Castro de Los Angeles.
Señor Junior Castro de Los Ángeles,
F2513956.
F25 139. I'm sorry, Judge, what was the number? 13956.
56.
This is in LA. This
And
is
if corrections could
Florida.
repeat the whole they previously stated.
He has a hold for immigration.
Y él tiene una detención de inmigración.
All right. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent Mr. de Los Angeles.
La juez está asignando los abogados de oficio para que representen al señor de Los Ángeles.
The court is going to make a finding of probable cause.
Y hallo que sí existe motivo fundado.
Defense is requesting standard bond, Your Honor.
La defensa está solicitando fianza estándar.
Okay. Do we have priors for Mr. de Los Angeles?
¿Tenemos antecedentes para el señor de Los Ángeles?
Hey, what up, Kirsten?
No, Your Honor. Oh, yes, I see on his NCICs there is a DUI.
Veo en los antecedentes nacionales que hay un cargo por manejar bajo los efectos.
What's his name? I
Thank
didn't
you.
catch. Did anybody catch his name?
Thank you.
Anybody catch his name, if you will.
All right, the court is going to enter bond in the amount of $2,500.
La juez le va a emitir fianza de $2,500.
There's also a stay-away order from the alleged victim, Anna Smiloska.
También
Name
tiene
is
una
Don
orden de alejamiento de la presunta víctima,
Vargas.
Ana Smiloska.
There's to be no contact with that person.
Usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con esa persona.
All right.
I can pull his hold.
Next case, we have Zvi Herman.
Paula, thank you.
F251400.
He's present, Your Honor.
Okay. I believe that he has an open felony case, F2511207. He's out on bond on that case. When he picked up this case, there will be a felony hold on F2511207. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent Mr. Herman. The court is making a finding of probable cause for his arrest. May I see his prior state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, the one and only, is it true that they're hiring people that are not ICE agents to apprehend people, like federal workers
Thank you.
that have no prior experience? Or at least where you're at, because I'm assuming it's different
Okay,
everywhere in the,
thank you.
depending on where you're at in the country.
Okay, the court is going to enter bond on count 1 in the amount of $4,000. Count 2, it's going to be $1,000. And there's a felony hold, as I indicated earlier, for the open felony.
That's what I heard too, but I got a buddy that's an ICE agent. He said the same thing, that
Next case, Orlando Joel Lorenzo.
he said that was a negative.
He's present before the court, Your Honor, and he doesn't require the services of the Spanish interpreter.
Does not. Okay,
Your Honor, he was out on house arrest and picked up new charges.
thank you.
How do you pick up new charges on house arrest?
All right. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent Mr. Lorenzo. The court has reviewed the arrest form and finds probable cause for his arrest. The court is noting that he is out on bond on F2415322. He is currently on house arrest for that case. There's going to be a felony hold on that case.
Yeah, I heard about that, the Haitians.
And
Dade County. We're in Dade County, Miami. And if anybody's wondering what I'm eating some plátanos, some plantains.
all right, there's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge, which is count 1. The bond amount for that case is going to be $7,500. On count 2, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Hey, you know what? It's funny because they were putting that on in the press that people are eating animals, but now there's in the press.
The
they're
count
saying
on that, the bond on that count is going to be $10,000.
They're eating people.
There's also going to be an order of pretrial release entered in favor of the alleged victim, JL, which are the initials.
So that's a hold on motion for pretrial, Your Honor?
So no pretrial detention motion.
No. This is it's an order, it's a stay away order. Order of pretrial release conditions that were handed up to me. to prevent contact with the victim for the stay away order. So there's a felony hold on F2415322. And then there is bond in the amount of $7,500 on count 1, $10,000 on count 2.
The hippo, it sounds like it just might be a little bit too tough, or you might be eating a lot of fat or blubber. Doesn't pique my interest, if you will. Plus, they look like they smell. Well, he ain't getting out.
Your Honor, because this is,
Hey,
Your Honor,
Deputy.
because this is an aggravated battery, it does fall under the statute, Florida statute 907.041, in parentheses 5, parentheses A, under dangerous crimes related to pretrial detention. And so the state would be requesting that pretrial detention, is issued for this defendant. We do have a proposed order.
Thank you, Amanda. I will say this, that that is definitely a good day not to be locked up. She's like, really, no way. She's like, no way.
Ms. Arthur, did you wish to be heard?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that these charges do not qualify for the pretrial detention statute.
Well, apparently it does, because the offense is a dangerous crime. He is currently charged with one of the counts is aggravated battery for the use of the concrete. If I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly. So therefore, it would qualify for pretrial detention under Florida statute 907.0415D. So the court is making a finding that he is charged with a dangerous crime, as I just indicated.
What the
It
fuck,
is.
chicken?
Second. Let me ask you, State, for the pretrial detention, is it? It says here the offense is presently charged is a capital felony, a life felony, or felony of the first degree. The next thing is that it's a dangerous crime. Does the dangerous crime being charged, aggravated battery, have to fall within the capital felony, life felony, or felony of the first degree? Yes. So therefore, this does not qualify.
It does not qualify, Your Honor, for that role?
I believe so, because it's not an or, it's an and. So the charge has to be a felony of the first degree, a capital felony, or life felony in order for it to qualify for pretrial detention. It does qualify as a dangerous crime, but does not meet the criteria numero uno on the statute.
Did she say numero uno?
If anything changes, I'm sure the state can follow up and file the appropriate motions. Not at this time, though. The standard bonds that the bonds that I've issued remain. Next, O'Shane Powell, F251.
Defendant refused court, Your Honor.
Used. Okay, we can reset this for tomorrow then. Next case, Luis Fernando Santiago. Okay. Mr. Fernandez Santiago, good afternoon,
Present,
sir.
Your Honor.
Does he require the services of the interpreter or no?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent you, sir. The court has reviewed the arrest form in your case and finds probable cause for your arrest.
Chop liver.
State might see his priors.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, what's up, real life raggy doll?
Your Honor, given the lack of priors, and I believe Mr. Santiago is in the Navy, I'd be requesting either
the
pretrial
lady-
services or house arrest level 2 alternate standard bond.
Your Honor, that there are no dollars, but I can show you that page on the NCICs.
Didn't say what he did, right? Well, I didn't catch it at least. Hey, what up, Steve? Hey, happy 4th to you as well. No, they didn't say. Hey, Violet, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate you. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Be like Violet. Hit that follow button. It's free 99. Are you out of your mind? It's free. Why wouldn't you want to hit the follow? I'm not asking for any money. Don't worry, my pet hamster is not gonna need an emergency triple bypass surgery. I just need them follows and them comments and them hearts. It's all free. Doesn't cost you a red cent. Don't be a Scrooge McDuck. Don't be a Mr. Krabby Patty. Nobody wants to be a Mr. Krabby Patty, right? What up, Candace? What up, K&D? How's it going? Welcome back.
Okay.
And these are live. For anybody that's wondering, look at the date right here.
With regards to Mr. Santiago, the court is making a finding of probable cause. I believe I said that earlier. The court is going to enter bond
It just cost
in
me
the
a
amount of
cent.
$5,000 for count 1, $5,000 for count 2.
Actually, it costs you $2.99.
And there's also going to be a stay away order,
for being a subscriber.
one for each victim of Samuel Ayer, and one for Jerica Cruz.
And highly appreciate for you guys that are subscribed to the channel. Highly appreciate you guys.
Raymond Johnson, please.
Hey, what up, Tulip? How's it going? Welcome back. Hey, thank you, Becca. I highly appreciate you guys.
May I see his priors?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Dang, I forgot about that.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Okay. State, do we know if the domestic charges that are in the prior record with the same victim, or we do not know that?
I wouldn't know until I look at the packet back again.
Okay. All right. The court is appointing the public defender's office on Mr. Johnson's case. The court has reviewed the arrest form and finds probable cause for his arrest. Okay.
Defense would be requesting house arrest alternate standard bond.
Standard bond in this case is how much? 5,000 or more? The 3rd-degree felony.
2,500, Your Honor.
And battery by strangulation is a $2,500 bond. Domestic battery by strangulation is I'm sorry?
From what I understand, Your Honor, the 3rd-degree felony is $2,500.
Right.
There's some sort of act of violence that is $60.
Your Honor, the standard bond for battery by strangulation is 5,000.
Oh, okay. All right. The court, okay, the court has also reviewed the prior record. I know it does not involve convictions, but there are several arrests for battery, including a prior battery by domestic strangulation, which was null prost in 2022, and several misdemeanor counts of battery, which were either null prost or no actioned.
Hey, Paula, thank you. Happy 4th to you as well.
The court is going to enter bond in this case in the amount of $10,000.
Hey, what up, Matthew? Wife.
And a stay away order from Ashley Gilmore.
And you know why even take it to that point? Why just not leave? Like why do you like just what is it, like an episode of The Simpsons? This is like real life. I'm new. Why is there a mute button? Because the mute button is attacking them because they know they're bad hombres, if you will. The mute button, it's like it detects the badness in people, anger issues, lack of self-control. The mute button has that also. Like
Michael Miller, please step forward.
He's present, Your Honor.
Hey, Ms. Fargo, how are you?
What up, Annie?
Good afternoon, sir. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent you for purposes of this hearing.
You need a
May I see
jail
his
cell
priors?
sound. Maybe I will add that one.
And Your Honor, I would say I do have a probable cause argument as to count 3, but I stand
you,
mute
Annie.
as to the other 2 charges.
The jail sound should be like, hey, don't drop the soap, homie. That type of jail sound? Or what kind of jail sound are you guys envisioning? Locked up, they won't let him out.
Thank you.
Happy 4th. Hey, thank you, Bren. She said she said he had been arrested several times for that same thing. What? Damn it. I stepped it away. So I stepped away because my wife was asking me. My daughter went to pick up her boyfriend at the airport.
Okay.
And he was in the wrong pickup location, and his phone had died.
State, do you stipulate regarding count 3, which is the criminal mischief, that there's no PC based on no reference to any monetary amounts in the arrest form?
A happy 4th.
Yes, Your Honor, that would be my
Sildor
exact
slamming.
argument.
All right, chop liver.
One moment, Your Honor.
What up, Catherine?
And
Thank you.
Not only no monetary amounts, but I don't see anything alleging damage to anything either.
Right.
Sildor slamming.
Your Honor, the state would stipulate to count 3.
Chef,
Okay, on
thank you.
count 3, he's going to be released outright. On count 1, which is burglary with assault or battery,
We have state filed a motion.
did the state file a motion on that case?
Your Honor, I need to check if it was filed, but I do know we have one here in court that we can hand over to. This is a first-degree felony, and so this would
If
qualify.
you're filing a pretrial detention motion?
He has
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, if you're going to do that, then I need to see it, please, and file it. If
he
you're
has
gonna
a
do that.
bracelet with his information on it. He has some papers, and he also has handcuffs on his hands. It's not a degree he's holding right there. He didn't graduate from a university right now. It might look
Okay.
like that because it got it rolled up like a diploma, but it's partly his charges and his bail bond. Basic information about the jail.
Okay, the state is filing a motion for pretrial detention pursuant to Florida statute 907.0415D.
If that
They're
makes
asking
any
the court
sense.
to enter an order detaining the defendant pending a final
Ain't
hearing on
going
pretrial
nowhere.
detention. The defendant is currently charged with burglary with assault
He
or
graduated
battery,
from intake,
which
got him
is
intake.
a life felony or punishable by life felony, which would qualify. It would also qualify
Miami-Dade County.
as a dangerous crime.
Damn, man, imagine like being in court and listening
There is probable cause that he committed the offense.
that you're probably going to prison for the rest of your life. Damn. I wouldn't even know how to process that.
They're incorporating the arrest affidavit by reference for the facts,
I couldn't do it.
and there's a substantial probability that he committed the charged offense and meets one of the conditions for pretrial detention. And so based on this motion and the facts of this case and the charges before the court is going to go ahead and sign the order granting pretrial detention on this case.
Move on to count 1.
No bond on count 1.
And that fool looks young too. He looks real young. Did anybody catch his? Do they say they're their
On
birth or their
count
age?
2, The aggravated assault with a firearm. It'll be 7,500. Released outright on count 3.
Damn, that, I mean, I guess it, for
And
the UK,
there's
depending on
going
how
to
you
be
look at
a
it,
stay away
be a
order
good
in
thing or a
favor
bad
of
thing.
the victim, Shani Akoff.
Extended stay. No H said. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. Get ready to sign a lease at the county jail.
Okay. Roberto Javier Andreo Rodriguez.
Ah, shit.
He's present, Your Honor, and does require the services of the Spanish interpreter.
With the assistance of our Spanish interpreter, please.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and just
The video crashed.
and with the assistance of the Spanish interpreter, before we address this case, I wanted to address someone on the, because I don't have a way of responding to the chat. There's someone named Julian who was on the case of Mr. Herrera who asked about the status of that case.
Hay una persona en el chat que está preguntando sobre el caso del señor Herrera, alguien que tiene como nombre Julián.
Okay. I wanted to let him know that that case, Joshua Harrison, I think it's the one he's on, is being reset for tomorrow for bond hearing. He has several cases that need to be addressed at the same time.
Quería informarle que este caso, que es el mismo caso de Joshua Harrison, quedó programado nuevamente para el día de mañana, para las audiencias de fianza del día de mañana. Él tiene varios casos que tienen que todos retomarlos al mismo tiempo.
What up,
There were
chat?
several victims who were on Zoom waiting to be heard. They were advised that tomorrow, this felony bond hearing can start anytime between 11:30 and 1 o'clock.
Y había varias personas, varias presuntas víctimas en el Zoom. Se les anunció que el día de mañana las fianzas por los delitos mayores serán vistas en cualquier momento entre las 11:30 de la mañana, comenzando, perdón, desde las 11:30 de la mañana hasta la 1 de la tarde en cualquier momento.
Okay, so Mr. Julian, you can come back tomorrow on Zoom and wait for the case to be called. It was not called today.
Entonces, señor Julián, puede volver el día de mañana para esperar a que el caso sea llamado porque el día de hoy no se tomó ese caso.
All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome, Judge.
All right, so I'm addressing the case of Roberto Javier Andreu Rodriguez.
Estamos ahora en el caso del señor Roberto Javier Andreu Rodríguez.
F253077.
F253077.
Okay. All right, Mr. Andreu Rodriguez, I'm appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir, for purposes of this hearing.
Señor Andreu Rodríguez, con propósito de esta audiencia, le estoy asignando a los abogados de oficio para que lo representen.
Okay. This case was here on an arrest warrant that issued.
Este caso viene aquí por un arresto, una orden de arresto que fue emitida.
Okay. The court is going to find probable cause for your arrest, sir.
Señora, hallo que sí existe motivo fundado por su arresto.
And you have a total of 4 charges, sir, per the arrest warrant.
Según la orden de arresto, señor, usted tiene 4 cargos en su contra.
Okay. And they are insurance fraud, count 1.
Fraud.
Los cargos son cargo número 1, fraude de seguros.
Okay. That's going to be $5,000, sir.
Ese tendrá fianza de $5,000.
Organized scheme to defraud is going to be another $5,000.
Esquema organizado de cometer fraude, otros $5,000 de fianza.
Grand theft is going to be $5,000.
Hurto de mayor cuantía será fianza de $5,000.
And stage accident, sir, is going to be $5,000.
Stage
Y
accident.
accidentes montado será fianza de $5,000.
Your Honor, would that be with a nebia? Because it states a nebia on the jail card.
Yes, I was gonna add that. Thank you, corrections. It's going to be, so it's a total of $20,000, sir, with a nebia.
Entonces tiene de fianza total $20,000 con una detención nebia.
And your attorney can explain what that means, sir.
Su abogada le puede explicar lo que eso significa.
Are there any holds for him other than?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Bien, y no tiene, aparte de eso, no tiene más detenciones.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Andreu Rodriguez.
Ya es todo. Gracias, señor Andreu Rodríguez.
Next case, Junior Castro Santana.
He requires the services of the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Thank you. With the assistance of our Spanish interpreter, the court is addressing Junior Castro Santana, F25-13978.
Estamos en el caso del señor Junior Castro Santana, caso F25-13978.
All right, the court is appointing the public defender's office to represent Mr. Castro Santana.
La jueza está asignando los abogados de oficio para que representen al señor Castro Santana.
The court is making a finding of probable cause for his arrest.
Hallo que sí existe motivo fundado por el arresto.
Hey, thank
Defense
you.
waives reading of the charges, Your Honor.
La defensa pide que no se lean los cargos.
Oh, they're bad charges if they're not reading his charges. But they will
And
give
I
us
also
some clues.
stand mute as to PC and would request standard bond.
Y permanecemos en silencio con respecto a motivo fundado y solicito fianza estándar.
All right. State, does Mr. Castro Santana have priors?
Fiscalía, el señor Castro Santana tiene antecedentes.
Yes, Your Honor. May you please pass them up?
Por favor, me dejan ver los antecedentes.
Thank you.
They didn't read his charges because they're bad. That's the only reason you wouldn't want them to be read out loud. Because either there's people in that holding tag that you don't want them to hear your charges. And
Your Honor,
obviously
the
this is
page that
being
I turned to
live
is
streamed,
the
so-
logo, and then if you go through it, then there will also be the NCICs as well.
Si su señoría se fija, ahí están los antecedentes locales y también en la otra página están los antecedentes nacionales.
She found them? If you guys are wondering why I'm laughing, it has nothing to do with this case.
All right, as to count one, the court is going to enter bond in the amount of $7,500. Count two, it's going to be $1,000.
En cuanto al cargo número 1, se emite fianza de $7,500. Cargo número 2 tiene fianza de $1,000.
Any gateway orders or anything or no?
Yes.
And there's going to be a stay away order in place in favor of GA, which are the initials of the victim.
Tendrá una orden de alejamiento. Tiene que mantenerse alejado de la persona que tiene iniciales GA, la presunta víctima.
All right, sir, stay in touch with your lawyer.
This is Florida,
Señor,
Miami-Dade,
mantenga contacto con sus abogados.
if you will.
Rayshad Gordon. Okay, Mr. Gordon, good afternoon, sir.
You wouldn't
We're
know
here on
heavy.
F2513985. The court has reviewed the arrest form and finds probable cause for your arrest. The state has filed a motion for pretrial detention pursuant to Florida statute 907.0415D. The first charge on the first count is a burglary with assault or battery, which is a punishable by life felony.
Damn, life,
Which would
another one?
qualify under the criteria for a capital life felony or felony of the first degree, as
What
well
up, no
as a
face?
dangerous crime. The court has found probable cause that the defendant committed said offense, and the state can show a substantial probability that he did so, and that he meets the criteria for pretrial detention and incorporates the affidavit for the arrest as part of the facts. The court, as to count 1, is going to hold him no bond pursuant to the pretrial detention statute. On count 2, which is strong arm robbery.
Strong arm robbery. So he robbed somebody without a weapon, just with his arms, with intimidation. That's what strong arm robbery means.
That's going to be $7,500. And count 3, it's going to be
Yeah, he looks kind of young.
$500. The court is signing the order. And the court is also, for the pretrial detention, the court is also going to sign an order regarding no contact with the alleged victim, who is Yancy Velasquez.
No, I don't think so. Certain crimes carry life without taking somebody's life. Like carjacking, they'll give you life. And there's a few other ones. That sometimes kidnapping will carry life depending on what state you're in. So there's certain jobs, certain crimes that'll
All right.
send you to prison for the rest of
Next
your life.
case, Quentin O'Brien, F2513995.
Arizona lets you get away with everything.
Can I see Mr. O'Brien's priors, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. O'Brien. The court is going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir.
It's a job interview.
The court has reviewed the arrest form in your case and finds probable cause for your arrest.
But Judge, I didn't do nothing. It wasn't me.
The court has also reviewed your prior record,
Robbery
sir.
also. Okay, thank you, Hector. Hey, James, thank you for the follow. Highly
On this
appreciate you.
charge, sir.
Hey, what's up, Lizzie, the golden retriever? Welcome back.
The court is going to enter bond in the amount of $10,000, sir.
Not in New York. They
George
indict a
Auguste?
hamburger.
Is he still in Ward D?
Your Honor, I have him here.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Auguste. Court is calling F2513906. The court has reviewed the arrest form and finds probable cause for your arrest.
Like, this guy doesn't even have his diploma. Like, he's a mess.
Does
He's a messy
Mr.
dude. Look at that.
Auguste have another
He has all
open
his
case or
papers all
no?
crumpled up. He's definitely not
This
graduating.
is the only case I have on the jail card, Your Honor.
Right.
I could only imagine what his jail cell looks like. Stuff just thrown all over the place. Oh, wow.
Your
Probably
Honor,
doesn't
from what I
even
can
shower.
see on our end, I only see this case open,
Right.
but there is a
The way that the A form reads is odd. Arrest made from previous incident. Nevertheless, the court does find probable cause for his arrest.
I couldn't do my papers like that, all crumpled up like that.
Your Honor, the NCICs will show many priors if you would like to
He must
look
not
at
have a
it.
celly.
Okay, let me take a quick look.
So these guys, they just got in. I believe they just got into the system. I don't think they've been in there more than 24 hours at this point. So they probably haven't even hit a cell yet. They still need to finish getting processed and get their designated area or be classified.
Okay.
Those he would have definitely have kicked in.
As to this case, which is the grand theft,
Hey, what up, Boston guy 76?
court is going to enter bonding the amount of $7,500.
They're still waiting for distribution. Classification, can someone...
And there's also going to be a
sometimes take
stay away
72
order
hours.
from Juvenile Boynton. Okay, next case is Abraham Ruiz.
Abraham Ruiz, come on down.
Okay, Mr. Ruiz, the court is calling F25-13959. Does he require the services of the interpreter or
What do
no?
you guys think
No, Your Honor.
Abraham
Right.
Ruiz did?
Defense stands mute as to PC and is requesting standard bond of 2,500.
He
Okay,
did something bad.
is he currently out on probation? On
No.
F30589 and F10-31639?
It's not on the jail card. 1 second, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Lynn?
Yes, Your Honor, he's out on probation on those cases.
Okay, so the court is going to enter probation hold on F10-30589 and F10-31639. The court finds PC for his arrest and
Hey, what up, Linda?
the court is going to enter bond in the amount of $5,000.
I'm not familiar with 290.
All right, Kyle
What up,
Davis,
Trey?
F25-13969. Mr. Davis, please step forward.
He's definitely not a 420. I didn't want to say the word. Okay.
It's okay. Wait, Mr. Davis, good afternoon, sir. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent you, sir, for purposes of this hearing. The court has reviewed the arrest form in your case and does find probable cause for your arrest.
Given the lack of priors, Your Honor, be requesting pretrial services, alternate standard bond.
May I see his prior state?
Yes, Your Honor, and there are a couple on the NCICs. He's in, well, I should say.
Hey, what up, D-Man? All right, cool. Got it.
All right, on count one, the court is, well, it's only one count.
Count on what?
Well, actually, no. There are two counts. Okay. The court is going to enter bond in the amount of 5,000 on count one, 5,000 on count two.
What was the bond, Your Honor?
5,000 on each count and a probation hold. I'm sorry, not a probation hold on him. I apologize. $5,000 on count one and $5,000 on count two. Francisco Hernandez Gray, F2513987.
Bond out.
He bonded out? Okay, thank you. Next case. Eduardo San Pedro, F2513988.
Bond out.
Next case, Jorge Luis Gonzalez Ferrer.
Bond out.
All right, Mike Acosta de Armas.
He's present, Your Honor. He does require the services of the Spanish interpreter. And I do want Your Honor to know that I am going to stand mute and request standard bond.
Hey, thank you for that, Maria.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Señoría, lo que vamos a hacer es que vamos a solicitar fianza estándar.
Your Honor, he has 2 open fugitives, which he's being held no bond on.
Su señoría, él tiene 2 casos abiertos por los cuales no tiene fianza.
Okay. All right, the court is appointing the public defender's office for purposes of this hearing. The court makes a finding of probable cause for his arrest.
Con propósito de
What up,
esta
Kate?
audiencia, se le está asignando el abogado de oficio para que lo represente y hallo que sí existe motivo fundado por el arresto.
All right, on count 1, the court is going to enter bond in the amount of $5,000.
Hey, what up, Teresa?
Por el cargo número 1 se le emite fianza por $5,000.
And on count
It's
2.
only, yes, it's only 1 case, Your Honor. You gave him 150 on the traffic.
Okay, I was gonna, yes, because I remember him. I don't even need to make a note of it on the back of the A form then? All right, so just 5,000 on count 1. Thank you.
Es solamente ese cargo, un caso, o sea, tiene fianza de $5,000 por ese caso. Por el delito menor ya le habían dado fianza.
Okay.
Yeah, Nat. That's what I'm understanding also.
Okay, next case is
Hey, what up, Clara
Giovanni
V?
Pupo Rivero, and he has 3 cases actually. Does he require the services of the interpreter, Ms. Arthur?
He does not, Your Honor. Defense stands mute as to all 3 cases
Stands
and
mute.
would request standard bond.
All right. May I see his priors, please? The court is going to appoint the public defender's office for purposes of this hearing on all 3 cases, F2514002, F2501403, and F2501401.
Happy.
The court is making a finding of probable cause on all 3 new cases.
Damn, it's just scary thinking about it. You're seeing like all these people that are coming in, they're not reading any other charges. And it's been a few back-to-back so far. It's a scary world out there. Hey, thank you for that.
All
David
right.
Hart, Nat. And standing mute.
Okay. On each case, there's 1 count on each case
Makes
for
you
retail theft.
It is live. Retail theft.
Court is going to enter bond in the amount of $7,500 on each case. And there's going to be stay away orders entered
Target, Walmart, Circle K.
on each case. Okay, on case F2514001, there's going to be a stay away order from CVS Navarro at 1230 West 29th Street in Hialeah. On F2514002, there's going to be a stay away order from CVS Navarro at 101 Hialeah Drive in Hialeah, Florida. And on F2514003, there's going to be a stay away order from CVS Navarro at 1230 West 29th Street in Hialeah.
Damn, keep this man away from CVS's.
All right. Robert McCoo. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. McCoo. The court is going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir, for purposes of this hearing. The court has reviewed the arrest form in your case and finds probable cause for your arrest. Further, the court notes that you're on probation on F-19-748. Corrections, do you have that?
Ma'am, thank you.
All right. There's going to be a probation hold on F-19-748.
They should have given one when he came in on his fish kit. They'll normally give you like a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to start up this.
On
I'm gonna have to
count
start over the stream.
one,
I'll
which
be
is
right
the-
back. Sorry about
The
that.
fleeing charge. It's going to be 10,000. Count two. It's going to be 1,000. Count three.
There's only 2 counts, Your Honor.
Okay, that's a traffic. Never mind. Thank you.
All right, you guys are good. I'd have to start this one over.
Sebastian Gomez.
Sebastian.
Reset medical, Your Honor.
Okay, so we need to reset it.
Mr. Gomez is present, Your Honor.
Yeah, they got Mr. Gomez in the turtle
He's
suit.
right next to me.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. All right, the court is appointing the public defender's office to represent. The court is making a finding of probable cause for the arrest.
Hey, what up, Carl?
State, may I see his priors?
I just caught a violation. That's why I had to start it all over again. I didn't want to, but I had no choice. My hand was forced. What happened? You ended it. Yeah, I got a
Okay.
violation. Welcome back, Becca. I didn't want to start it over.
All
Trust
right,
me.
the court is going to enter
What up, Chad? Welcome
bond
back.
in the amount of $5,000 on count one, $5,000 on count two.
I caught a violation. He's wearing that because he's a danger to himself or he's a danger to others. So they put him in that so he doesn't hurt anybody. They put him in a padded room. I'm married, but he's kind of cute. Violation? Why? Be like that, with these
Okay,
new.
there's going to be a stay order in favor of the victim with the initials of YB.
These new terms of service. They're they be messing with people.
Nathaniel Martin.
Refuse, Your Honor.
What up, it's?
I'm sorry?
Refuse.
Oh, refused. Okay. So Mr. Martin will be reset for tomorrow.
Mr. Martin refused to lose.
Álvaro Prendes.
Hey, what up, Simona? When do you start your
Working,
new
Your
job?
Honor.
Ward D, Your Honor.
Oh, Ward D. So reset for tomorrow on Mr. Prendes.
Refused means that he didn't want to come to court.
Yes.
And he didn't show up.
Okay. Next case, Dasniel Socorro.
Refuse, court, Your Honor.
Refused. Okay. Reset for tomorrow.
Your Honor, I can go ahead and waive his presence, stand mute as to PC, and request standard bond.
Okay.
What
Well,
up, big love from the UK.
on Dasniel Socorro then, the court is making a note that he has 3 open felony cases.
He is locked up.
Is that correct? F22230008, F22230009, and F2416170.
They probably
Okay,
don't want to be
there's
seen
going to
on
be
the live
felony
stream.
holds on all 3.
What up, sir?
Added charges, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so the court is going to appoint the public defender's office for purposes of the hearing. Right.
Hello. Hey, thank you, Sue, for that daily heart. Highly appreciate you. Somewhere to stay.
I haven't made it there. Okay, so with regards to Dasniel Socorro, the court is appointing the public defender.
No
The
face.
court is finding PC for his arrest, and the court is going to issue bond on battery by detainee in the amount of $5,000. And I'm making a note that his presence was waived. Okay. And, okay, next we have is
Chad.
Your Honor, Mr. Morris, is NBC reset for tomorrow?
From what I seen right here in Dade
who's
County,
being reset?
I don't think I've ever
Mr.
seen
Morris.
I don't think I've
Being
ever seen
reset
anybody
also?
get OR'd. Everybody has to pay.
Okay. Mr. Morris has several cases. Okay. Did we deal with Grant or no?
It's
I'm
all
sorry?
about the money. Yep,
Richard
absolutely.
Grant,
So
did I deal with that case already or no?
it's always about the money. Just follow the
No,
money.
Richard Antoine Grant. I
Even
have
what's,
an A form here.
even what's happening right now in the U.S.,
Maybe
it's all
it's-
about money.
It's F2513980.
Oh, that's his AKA, that's Antoine Morrison's AKA.
Ah, okay. Not easily discernible. Okay.
Teresa.
All right. So that's tomorrow, right? All right. So we can have that.
Show me the money.
All right. Ricardo Evans.
Right, Teresa?
The Evans refused court, Your Honor.
I'll
What
go
up,
ahead and
Chris?
waive his presence. He understand mute as to PC and request standard bond.
That's right, Sue.
Okay. Mr. Evans, you're waiving his presence?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to appoint the public defender's office, make a finding of probable cause, and Mr. Evans. Okay, I'm going to issue bond in the amount of 5,000. Philip Wright, F2513952.
Defendant refused.
Refused, reset for tomorrow. Then we have
Chris.
here Denny Pierre.
Also refused.
I'll go ahead and waive his presence. Your Honor, stand mute as to PC and request standard bond.
Okay, Mr. Denny Pierre. Okay, so he has several cases.
The charges.
I'm sorry?
Maybe they're having a
Added
party.
charges for Mr. Wright, Your Honor.
Maybe they're having a party back in the
Pierre, I'm
dorm.
sorry, for Mr. Pierre, you got added. Yes.
They're having a big party
for
in the
Mr.
dorm,
Pierre,
and they don't want to miss out on the party. So
it's
they're like,
going
I'm
to
not going to go to
be
court today. I can't miss out
5,000.
on this party night.
PC found.
Hey, thank you, Chris. Extra food day.
And I have Shawan Evans.
I'm not sure how many times you could refuse.
Oh,
though.
these are write-ins. F2513941.
Hey, what up, whiskey?
The court is going to appoint the public defender's office. Ms. Arthur, you have a copy of the A forms?
I do, Your Honor. I stand mute as to PC.
Okay, are you waiving his presence? Because I don't see him.
Work. Man, I wish I could do that.
Shawan Evans.
He's present, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Evans. The court is appointing the public defender's office to represent you, sir.
What does he have in his hand? It looks like a kilo right there. What is that in his hand? What do you guys think it is?
May I see, do we have his priors or no?
They're right in the.
Could it be a lunchbox?
I understand.
What is it? What the hell is in his hands? To zoom in. Hold on.
Given that the last prior, from what I can see, is from 2003, Your Honor, I'd be requesting pretrial services, alternate
Bible?
standard bond.
What does he have in his hand? Gotta get
Okay, I don't have his priors.
What the hell does he have in his hand? What is that? It doesn't look like a Bible. It looks like a
I'm gonna
apple.
issue bond.
What is it?
In the amount of 2,500.
Tissue box.
Is this for this?
Could it be his lunch
Or no?
box? Maybe that's where they
This.
hand out
Okay.
the lunches.
Then last but not least, the case of Dean Lietzau.
I couldn't figure it out.
I
see
saw
anybody else.
something about this case earlier. I don't know if it was maybe regarding the bondsman.
It was his free wish box.
Yes, Chi bonds, yes. Okay, Chi bonds, I don't know. I know that you've been waiting and you have your hand raised. He is on the calendar now. This is case F2513923.
Use needle
The court is appointing the
dispensers.
public defender's office to represent him for purposes of this hearing. The court has reviewed the arrest form in this case and does find probable cause for his arrest.
What up, Terry? Turtle suit, yeah.
Your Honor, do you have an argument as to the criminal mischief? I'm not seeing anything alleging that within the four corners of the A form or any monetary amount as well.
Well,
Hey, thank you, Michelle.
I think they're referring to the scooter.
Yes, but there's nothing alleged
I'm sorry.
of criminal mischief. I'm not
The locking
disputing the grand theft.
Grand theft, criminal mischief.
There's a break of a locking mechanism on a scooter.
Scooter. That was still the scooter?
And then there's the taking of a different scooter.
2 scooters?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm just not seeing anything in terms of monetary amounts for that charge.
That's how we can have nothing nice nowadays. Can't even park your scooter outside because you got
Okay.
somebody trying to take it from you. The scooter bandit. Hey, what up, Jennifer? How's it going? What's up, HYM? I ain't gonna go to jail for no for
State, do
stealing
you
a
have
scooter.
any argument on the criminal mischief? I do see that the locking device for the scooter was broken. However, I do not see an actual amount of damage.
Probably. Yeah, there's those scooters are littered all over through the street, especially
State, do you have
in
any
Miami.
answer for that? Are you stipulating to no PC on count 2, which is the criminal mischief based due to a lack of monetary amount? Or are you making an argument that it's broken?
Your Honor, yes, the A form clearly says that the property of another was broken by the defendant, and therefore, we would argue that there is probable cause.
And we do not have his priors?
No, Your Honor, since it's an add-on, we don't have it on our end. Oh, wait, yes, I have it in the V case. I just wouldn't have it printed out.
What up, C?
Does
But
he
I
have
can-
priors?
Hey, so the reason he's wearing that purple
Yes, Your Honor.
smock,
I can show you on the laptop.
it's because he's a threat to himself or he's a threat to the other. So they put him in that and they put him in a padded room so that he doesn't hurt himself or hurt anybody else around him. That's like a dress. I don't know how. It kind of looks like those.
Do we have the regular local prior sheet or no?
No, I just have the NCIC, but that
It's like
would
a hospital
include
gown.
the local priors as well.
He's sad because he's in jail. Sue writes, next. Adolfo, chicken